Hello, everyone. Have you ever stopped and wondered, why do some people walk past 80, even 90, with a spring in their step, a sharp mind, and a radiant love for life? Meanwhile, others, who barely seem to have hit 70, are already struggling with illness and fatigue. We often shrug and say, it's fate, good luck, or good genes. But the video we're talking about today tells a different story, a deeper one. It says that the difference doesn't lie in the big things, but in the hidden mistakes that millions of us are making every single day. These are habits so small, we don't even notice them. They silently creep into our lives, and quietly, they steal our time, our health, and our joy. Today, I want to tell you the story of those 6 mistakes, not as a doctor writing a prescription, but as a storyteller, someone who wants to turn the page with you on how we are living. Story number 1. The comfortable armchair. The first mistake, and perhaps the most common, is something all too familiar. Sitting more than moving. Picture a typical day in retirement. We tell ourselves, I've worked hard my whole life, now it's time to rest. And so we find that comfortable armchair, turn on the TV, and we sit. We sit for hours on end. We call it enjoying our golden years. But this video calls it a silent killer. When we sit for too long, the body isn't truly resting, it's rusting. Our muscles, especially in our legs and core, the very things that keep us balanced, begin to weaken. Blood flow slows down, the brain becomes sluggish and foggy, and the worst part, it creates a vicious cycle. As the video rightly describes, the more you sit, the more tired you feel. And the more tired you feel, the more you want to sit. The solution isn't to run a marathon or lift heavy weights. No. It's surprisingly simple. Just move more than you sit. Stand up and walk around the house every hour. Stretch during the commercials. Stand up when you take a phone call. Because here's the story. When the body stops moving, the heart and mind follow. Story number 2, the retired brain. And this leads us to the second mistake, one that's even more subtle. Mentally retiring too early. That last day at the office, we clean out our desk, turn in our badge, and breathe a sigh of relief. Finally done. No more deadlines, no more pressure, no more having to think. But that very thought, no more having to think, is a trap. Our brain, just like a muscle, operates on a simple principle. Use it or lose it. The video warns that when we stop learning, stop challenging our minds, stop using our memory, the brain slowly begins to dim the lights. Research shows the brain needs purpose to stay sharp. We're not talking about going back to get a new degree. We're talking about staying curious. Read a book on a subject you know nothing about. Learn a new recipe. Do a crossword puzzle. Teach your grandchild something. Ask questions. The moment you believe, I know enough or I'm too old to learn, as the video says, is the exact moment your brain begins to let go. Story number 3. The 4 0-year-olds diet. The third mistake is an unfortunate mix-up. Eating as if you are still 40. We tend to cling to old habits, to the familiar foods that we've eaten all our lives. We think our bodies are still the same. But the truth is, the machinery inside has changed. The video explains it clearly. Your body at 65 is not the same as it was at 40. Your metabolism has slowed down. Your ability to digest and absorb nutrients is different too. But we keep eating processed foods, lots of sugar, lots of salt, and drinking too little water. We wonder why we always feel heavy, bloated, or tired. Here's the truth. After 60, your body needs a different kind of fuel. You need more protein to maintain the muscle mass you're losing. You need less sugar to fight inflammation. You need more water and less salt. The story here isn't about dieting. It's about eating right. As the video said, you need food that heals, not just fills. Story number 4, the whisper, I don't want to bother anyone. The fourth mistake, this one breaks my heart. It's the mindset, I don't want to be a bother. So many seniors are suffering in silence. They endure the pain in their knees. They endure a gnawing loneliness. They endure a fear that comes when the sun goes down, but they don't say anything. They don't want to be a burden to their children and grandchildren. They think their silence is protecting their loved ones. But the video points out a painful truth. Keeping everything inside doesn't protect anyone. It just disconnects you from the people who love you. Humans are wired for connection. Connection heals. Ask for help. Call someone just to say you're sad. Ask for a hug. Ask for someone's time because, as the video affirmed, you still matter. Letting others support you isn't weakness. It's a gift you give them, the gift of trust. Story number 5, the empty bed. The fifth mistake is one of the biggest hidden reasons people don't live long, living without a reason to wake up. This story often begins when life's major milestones have passed. The kids have moved out, the job is over, the daily routine suddenly disappears. And so they wake up in an empty bed, stare at the ceiling, and wonder, what am I getting up for today? They gradually stop making plans, stop dreaming, stop being present in their own lives. But our bodies, our minds, they respond to purpose. The video shares that the longest-lived people often say the same thing. I had something to live for. And purpose doesn't have to be something grand. It doesn't have to be saving the world. It just has to be yours. It could be a plant you need to water, a neighbor you know needs checking on, a book you plan to write, a prayer you want to say. As the video so perfectly summarized, purpose isn't about productivity. It's about presence. Story number 6, the lie. It's too late. And finally, the sixth mistake, perhaps the most destructive of all, because it locks all the other doors. It's when we believe it's too late to change. It's that voice in your head. I'm 70. My habits are set. I have diabetes. I have high blood pressure. This is just who I am. It can't be changed. We make ourselves victims of our own past. But this video told a completely different story. A story of hope. It proves that this belief is wrong. Research and real-life stories prove it wrong every single day. There are people in their 70 seconds who reverse their diabetes. People in their 80 seconds who start exercising, start painting, start falling in love. People in their 90 seconds who start walking again. The human body has a phenomenal capacity to recover. It wants to heal. Our job is to stop getting in its way. Conclusion. So, what is the story this video is telling us? It's a story of 6 mistakes. The all too comfortable chair, the retired brain, the meal from the past, the silence of not wanting to be a bother, a morning without purpose, and the lie that it's too late. But it's also a story of hope. It reminds us that health and longevity aren't decided by one big moment. They are decided by the thousands of small choices we make every single day. It says that whether you are 60, 70, or 80, your story isn't over. You can still change. You can still start over. And as the video promised right at the beginning, fixing these mistakes might just give you the strongest, most peaceful years of your life. Thank you for listening.